Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Bonjour tout le monde.
I
No
hope
traducir. Bonjour.
So this is translation you can hear. So we're putting and we're setting up translation for all those who want to follow the 2-day of Congress on their own language. So stay with us a minute or two, just as to set up all the translations. So Harry, please make sure translation is running, and then we will give another 2 minutes to all the delegates to join us before we will officially start the 48th FIH Congress. So 2 minutes, stay with us, but again, hello everybody, nice to have you.
Thanks, Thierry. I'll just like the translators to make an announcement, please.
Yes, please do.
Sí, buenos días. Esto es la cabina de español. En breves momentos nos van a activar la interpretación. Entonces, para escuchar el canal de español, en el momento de activación de la interpretación hay que ir a la bola del mundo que está en la barra inferior de Zoom. Hace clic en la bola del mundo y abre una ventana y ahí hay que elegir español. Y una vez que esté en el canal de español, sin toda la sesión pueden escucharlo en español. Ahora lo voy a pasar a la cabina de francés.
Bonjour, c'est la cabine d'interprétation de français qui vous parle. D'ici quelques minutes, la fonction d'interprétation sera activée. Alors, si vous voulez suivre les débats en français, il suffit de vous déplacer sur le menu à la base de l'écran lorsque le message annoncera la disponibilité de l'interprétation. Vous cliquez sur le petit globe terrestre et sur le menu qui s'affiche, vous choisissez le français. Je vous souhaite une excellente réunion.
Добрый день, вас приветствует кабина русского перевода. Функция перевода включится через 1 минуту. Если вы хотите слушать конгресс на русском языке, пожалуйста, выберите из меню перевода, который находится внизу экрана, русский язык. Также вы можете выступать на русском языке. Для этого вам нужно будет сначала выбрать русский язык из меню перевода. Please start interpretation.
Okay, so
yes, the translation is available now. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. So I hope that you all followed the indication that you can select the language you wish to follow the Congress on. And so we are perfect in time, Swiss time, 10 o'clock, we will start sharp. And I hand over now the word to our acting president, Saif, please.
Thank you, Thierry. Dear member of the FIH Congress, dear representative of the media, dear friends in hockey, ladies and gentlemen, I would prefer to meet you all in person and greet you all in person, but actually we are forced to have this Congress virtual, as the pandemic did not finish yet, and we are afraid if we will make it in person, and maybe in the end we will have to cancel it again. But I wish this is the last Congress to be in virtual, and next Congress we can meet, because we are missing the feeling of human contact persons. Of course, tomorrow I will address to you more details about my idea and thinking about the FIH and what we have to do. But for today, I'd like to give the floor to Terry Will, our COO, to give you details of the agenda of Strong Together. This slogan, we got it from Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and I hope you will contribute with us in all items you will hear and see today. And in the end of the story, all of us, we will have a benefit from this first day, we can say, as everyone, every Congress, it's the forum of the first day. I wish you all fruitful day one, and thank you in advance for your great commitment as always. Terry, Lord, it's yours.
Thank you, President. So let me join Saif and the President's words, actually. First of all, welcome all the members of the Congress, representatives of media, friends of hockey, and the family of hockey, ladies and gentlemen. Today, first day of our Congress, we will run presentations. Those presentations have been pre-registered. We have registered those for the sake of time, to be really efficient. Questions will be allowed to be asked afterwards, after each presentation. Feel free, please do. This should not be a monologue today. It should be a dialogue that we can answer questions of our members. So please put in the chat the questions you have. We will try to answer all of them today, but for potentially timekeeping purposes, we will maybe not be able to answer all of them, but we will definitely answer all those questions later on today or in the next 2 days. But hope we can answer all the questions today. So hope we will have fruitful discussions. The theme, as mentioned by our president, is stronger together, because yes, we are a great family. Yes, we are a great sport. Yes, we have great initiatives. If we can put all those elements together, our sport will definitely grow even more. And for that, to introduce that theme of the 2 days, I would like to ask to run the video, please. Thank you for the video. And now I just give you a quick overview of our agenda of today. So if we can put this on the screen. So we will have then the first one will be stronger fan base. The second point will be stronger innovation, and a really important point definitely is also the voting rehearsal, which will be starting around 10:50 to 11 o'clock. So please, all head of delegation, make sure at that stage you are connected to the system, to the credentials you got from Lumi, so that we can run a full-blown test of voting with everybody being online. And there as well, please do not hesitate to ask questions or to let us know if you have problems of connectivity or to get into the system, because today is the day where we will use the time, where we will take the time to make sure that everything is going to run smoothly for everybody tomorrow. After the voting, you have point 6, which is stronger for society. Point 7 is stronger participation, 8 stronger governance. And then we will have number 9, the conclusion of today, of the first day. So again, without further ado, I would like to pass on to the first topic, which is stronger together.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Nicolas Mango. I am Senior Communications at FIH, and I will be joined during this presentation by Mayanala O'Mahony, who is the FIH Marketing Manager. The topic of our presentation today is how to build a stronger fan base. And frankly, this is what we're trying to do in our daily activities. This is a slide which shows you what the current digital ecosystem of FIH is. On the left side, you can see the various platforms which we have developed over the years. Some of them are really very new. I'm thinking especially about TikTok, Weibo, and WeChat, also our FIH store. And we've built this ecosystem in order to be able to reach out to our existing fans, but also to new fans every day. And on the right side, you can see who our stakeholders are. In the center, you see fans and athletes. Fans and athletes really are at the center of everything we do. This is true for all our communications activities, and this is even more true for our digital communications activities. Of course, it's not all about fans and athletes. We're also talking very much to other stakeholders like the continental federations, like the national associations, but also the media, the broadcasters, our commercial partners, and so on. If we have a look at our social media growth over the last 4 years, as you can see, there is a big push on Instagram, plus 100% in 4 years. This is not due to chance, of course. This is a strategy which we have, a strategical decision which we have taken back in 2019 precisely to focus primarily on this platform. You can also see on the left side the engagement with our posts across various platforms, really, which also has increased by 100%. What has brought this evolution? Well, in the first place, videos. And it will come as no surprise to anybody that videos nowadays are really successful, especially on social media. As you can see, almost 500% increase since 2018 when it comes to the number of video views. Videos improve the reach, and obviously they play a huge role in increasing the number of followers on all our platforms. They are adapted to a short form communication, but also long form communication, depending on which platforms we are using. And also a word to you directly regarding videos. We've added onto our photo shelter, which I think you know and surely you're using. We've added a functionality recently to have videos shared with you on your platform. So you can go on the FIH photo shelter and download the videos exactly like you do for photos. And this gives me the opportunity to tell you once more that you should feel free to send us your videos, your video content, because we'll be more than happy to share it on our social platforms and therefore giving them a more global reach. Another important parameter which has impacted the growth positively, the growth of our social media platforms in the last couple of years, is the number of platforms we've developed. I've alluded to this earlier, but also the languages we've added. At the beginning of this year, in 2022, we've added Spanish and Hindi to our coverage. For you to know, on Facebook, most of our fans do speak Spanish and Hindi on top of English, and this is why this is a really important evolution. As you can see on this slide, the impact of events on our social media performance is really big. Each time we have an event, be it the Pro League, be it, of course, the Olympic Games, be it a World Cup, then you can see a peak on those graphs. And this is here again, probably a message to all of you that it's always very, very pertinent to use the impact of the events, of your events, to push your communication, your digital communication, because you will see for sure the same peaks as we do for ours. You can see here a couple of the posts which we've done in the last couple of years and which have worked really well. And my last word for this section of this presentation on our social media growth is a word on the athletes. We used to say that the athletes are the best ambassadors of our game. We've launched at FIH a couple of years ago a program called Athletes as Influencers, which means that actually a number of the top athletes, top in the sense of them having also the best, the highest following, especially on Instagram, have helped us conveying our messages, but also we've gotten closer to them and done some interviews with them, for example, during the Women's World Cup. And this is something which we want to increase in the near future.
So hello everyone, it's very nice to see you. So going on with our presentation, Watch Hockey is certainly one of the biggest channels that we have today, one of the biggest ways to reach to our fans. Watch Hockey is the digital home of hockey that we launched in September 2020. And it's really the place where any fan around the world can watch live or on-demand matches. As you can see on the numbers on the screen, we've had very good results over the past 2 years on the amount of people that visited the platform, the amount of people that registered to the platform, and also this represents the number of people that we can reach through emails today for any kind of communication. You can see as well that we have very good engagement time on the platform, and more than 1,000 matches are available today on Watch Hockey. As you can see as well below on the screen, we are very happy because lately we've been nominated for two prestigious awards in the world of sports, and we will get the results in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for potential good news on these awards for Watch Hockey. So the key message that we really want to convey for Watch Hockey on this presentation is that, and as we've said many times in the past, Watch Hockey is not just an FIH channel, it's not just an FIH tool, it's a channel, it's a platform where we would like the whole hockey community to be involved. We would really like every CF and every NA to be able to use this platform for the promotion of hockey in their own countries. We are going on a right direction in the sense that today within Watch Hockey we have most of the content coming from CFs and NAs. This represents around 53%. So you must be wondering, what is the advantage? What is the advantage for me? What is the advantage for my hockey community to be present in Watch Hockey? Well, it's very simple. Imagine if any fan around the world could access any kind of hockey match, whether it's a match regarding his own favorite hockey club, or whether it's a local league, or whether it's an international league or a senior World Cup. Imagine a fan being able to access any kind of hockey match whenever he wants, all in one single place. So concretely for you, the advantages of being present in Watch Hockey is, first of all, the possibility to build a strong presence of your local hockey, if we can say like that, on this more international platform. So it's more visibility, it's more eyeballs, and in the future, it's also an opportunity for revenue. We must think that today, Watch Hockey's, most of the content in Watch Hockey is subject to subscription. So the revenue potential for you is certain there. We can also think of the ways you can engage with your fans. So for sure you can engage with your fans locally, but being able to promote your games on Watch Hockey gives you also a global exposure. You can also benefit from our marketing efforts to promote your hockey to the audiences around the world. One of the other advantages is that you can drive global visibility for your athletes. Imagine the way that they can build their fan base with fans from their own countries, from their own continent, but also from around the world. This is certainly an asset for them in terms of sponsorship deals. And finally, of course, this opportunity of being able to be present on Watch Hockey can deliver better value for your sponsors. Imagine telling your sponsors that your hockey matches can be available for an audience of potentially hundreds of thousands of and millions maybe of fans and audience around the world. This is certainly a big commercial asset for your hockey. Going further on other ways of connecting with fans, we have the first ever e-commerce initiative that we've launched earlier this year in June 2022, just before the Women's World Cup. This was part of a partnership with Kford. And this, as I've said, it's a new way of connecting and engaging with hockey players and with fans around the world with official merchandising from all of our different competition. This is a one-stop shopping site for hockey. It's there available for FIH, of course, but it's also open for any NA or for any CF that would like to collaborate with us, of course. Last but not least, we have the FIH Hockey Manager game. So this is the first ever FIH mobile game that we've launched. We've launched it only a few days ago on the 25th of October this year. And this is a new way of engaging with fans around the world. This is part of a 5-year partnership with a gaming company called Goldtown Games, GTG. And the game is currently available for download on mobile, and it's for free. We have a little video that we would like to show you introducing the main features of this game.
So we've just introduced you to our activities and platforms developed in the last couple of years. But now let's have a look at the map of our digitally connected hockey community. As you can see on this slide, we have roughly 2 million people following the social media platforms of FIH, around 8 million following your social media platforms altogether, CFs and NAs, 30 million players around the world, and almost 400 million people interested in hockey worldwide. As you can see on this slide, this community is not complete and is a little bit fragmented. So what do we want to achieve? We want to achieve exactly this, a bigger and a more connected community. That's where we are today. That's where we want to be tomorrow. But we cannot do that alone. We need to do that all together. So where do we start? Well, I will not give you all details which are on this slide, but this is here essentially to tell you we can all play a role in this creation of a global digitally connected hockey community. It starts very often with social media, and honestly, what do you need to have a presence on social media? You need a mobile phone and an idea. That's what you need essentially. A website is of course extremely useful. That's where you will have all your information. That's where you will be able actually to connect with most of your stakeholders. It's important not only to have it, but also to keep it up to date, obviously. And a personalized communication. This is becoming every day more important. As much as you can, register your players. Keep data of your stakeholders, provided you can indeed use them. This is really important because it will not only help you develop your own community in your own country or your own region, but by doing so, you will help growing the sport in your country, in your region, but also globally.
So to reinforce the message on why we need a digitally connected hockey community, it's important to stress the Malcolm's benefits are strictly linked to a higher purpose, which is growing hockey together and everywhere. So there are main benefits for all of us if we manage to have a digitally connected hockey community. The first one is having a better knowledge of our own hockey community, have more efficient communication for everyone, and have also a higher commercial attractiveness, mainly linked to the data that we can get out of this digitally connected hockey community. So thank you very much for your attention. Thanks very much for your collaboration as well. If you have any questions, suggestions, do not hesitate to contact us. Thanks very much and goodbye.
Thank you, Marianella. Thank you, Nicolas, for that presentation. There is a lot of content I can understand for you on the Congress, which you need to digest. But I do open the floor now for questions. So if you have questions, please raise your hand in the chat or the chat function, and then we can open the floor in case you have questions now. You know, the fans are the centerpiece of our sport. So that's why we need to serve the fans in a proper way, in a new way. I mean, for some of us, which are a little bit older, this digital connectivity is a bit some new land, but that's what currently today the fans are expecting and what they are doing and where they are on. They are on the mobile phones, they are on social media. And that is the growth of for tomorrow for our sport. So that's why it is really, really important that we collaborate, that we work together, that we combine this. So please do me a favor and come and ask questions or contact us on a later stage. There was a question which has now disappeared. I see, yeah, in the chat. Yeah, definitely a good point that we also should use coaches as influencers. That's definitely true. So everybody, it's we just gave examples from athletes because we have really athletes which have a lot of influencers and are influencers, but coaches, umpires, officials, everybody of the family should actually be there and has to be an influencer. How do you get the video on the Watch Hockey? Is again, it is you contact us. We give you the direct link. It's a complete, straight and easy process. You get a link and you get the access, and you can just download your video to Watch Hockey, and then it will be on, and your fans and your family members they can all follow it. So thanks for those questions. Again, do not hesitate to ask us more and to come directly to us, and we can facilitate all the needs you have and also the ideas you have, we will implement on. So again, thank you, Marianella, thank you, Nicolas, for that presentation. And now we go to the next point, which is stronger innovation, point number 4 on the agenda.
Thank you, Thierry. And hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Ricky, and along with Harry, we will take you through our digital and data evolution journey over the next few minutes. Our digital transformation is not just limited to our fan-facing platforms. We've also looked internally in terms of how we manage our sport and athletes. Hence, it is a pleasure to present the evolution and future of our sport data systems to you all. But before we look ahead, let's look at our journey so far. Over to you, Harry.
Thank you, Ricky, and hello everyone. It's my pleasure to take you through the digital transformation of hockey sport data. In 2013, we transitioned from using an Excel sheet to an online system to record our match data and to do competitions management. Over the years, we saw the tremendous potential of sport data for efficient management of official hockey data records and greater fan engagement. As you can see on the slide, we have come a long way in our journey. Thanks to our dedicated and talented team of match officials and great support from our national associations, we are now recording data for every player, goal, and card from more than 1,200 international hockey matches live all around the globe. We are also using TMS to power in-stadium scoreboard and with live timing and scoring data. We are using TMS to provide live data feeds to TV and websites. And we did not stop there. In 2021, we built in-house a hockey sport data warehouse on top of our TMS database to provide faster access and deeper insights into player and team records like never before. Let me take you through a quick overview of our player data dashboard. I am excited to share the Hockey Data Hub for the first time to our hockey family. This dashboard enables the user to browse through the detailed data of more than 18,000 international players, 15,000 matches, and all teams across male, female, senior, junior, indoor, and outdoor hockey within seconds. And here is how we do it. We set the filters as per our requirements. For our demo today, I'll set the gender as female, age as senior, and keep the discipline as outdoor hockey. Let's dive into the team's dashboard now. On the team's dashboard, you can view any team's performance since 2013. The dashboard very neatly presents the total number of matches played, wins, loss, draws, goals scored, types of goals scored, and the time at which those goals have been scored. The data can be easily filtered by any year. So if I choose 2022, all the data on the screen will be filtered for the year 2022. Now, for example, let's have a look at records for Netherlands. So Netherlands since 2013 has played 214 matches and played 79 players. The list of all the players is here on the bottom of the page, which is sortable. So if I sort it by the total descending order of the matches, we see that Margot van Geffen has played the most number of matches, which is 200. And if I sort the table with the descending order of total goals scored, so Lidevai Belton is leading with 79 goals and Fredrike Matla is at 75. On the right hand side, you see the list of all the 214 matches which Holland has played since 2013. And then on the right, we have their opponent analysis, and this table, like all the others, is sortable as well. So if we need to look at which are the countries against which Holland has had most of their victories, so that is Germany 22 and Belgium 19. And if you would like to look at to whom Netherlands has lost the most number of times since 2013, that is Argentina, which is 4. So you can only imagine the kind of derivative stats, stories, and narratives that we can create from this dashboard for the fans, media, and TV alike. Let's now have a look at the player dashboard, which contains international career records of more than 15,000 players. For all these players, we have their matches played, wins, loss, draws, goals scored, types of goals scored, and the times at which the goals were scored. Let's have a look at Augustina Gorzelani's career stats. Augustina has played in her career until now 87 senior outdoor matches and scored 46 goals, 41 of them being penalty corner goals and 5 being penalty stroke goals. More than 50% of her goals have come in the third and fourth quarter. Let's have a look at the list of all her matches. Here we see that she debuted against New Zealand on 13th February 2017 and her first goal came against Peru on 30th May 2018. She has 2 hat-tricks to her name until now, one against Argentina and one against India. Looking at her opponent analysis, Augustina has played most of her matches against Germany and New Zealand and has most number of goals against Japan, which is 5. And she is yet to score against Great Britain, Ireland and South Africa. As you can yourself see by now, that the data on this page is of great value for all the athletes who would like to have their international records and for all the hockey fans to get to know their heroes better. Last but not the least, we would like to show you the top scorer dashboard. This dashboard provides the most comprehensive view of our goal scorers leaderboard. As you can see from the table, Olivia Merry from New Zealand tops the leaderboard with 116 goals from 247 matches, and she is closely followed by Thikamporan Sakulpithak of Thailand with 106 goals. We can get more details about these records by clicking on the player's name. If we select Sakulpithak, we see that she has scored 30 goals against Cambodia and 22 against Indonesia. On the other hand, selecting Olivia Merry shows that her most goals have been scored against Australia. The leaderboard can be filtered by year to view that respective year list. With this, I end my demo of our hockey data dashboard, and I am sure you would be as pleased as we are with the great progress that we have made with our sport data solutions. I now hand over to Ricky, who will take you through the phase 2 of our tech journey.
Thank you, Harry. It was definitely very exciting to see such an extensive database on our international athletes and the momentum we've created with our data system so far. But surely this is not enough. We want to do more, and here's why. 1, we need a system that allows us to track international and domestic player data records and create a better visibility for our athletes. We need to make sure that we continuously improve our competition management systems and we make it accessible for everyone. We want to give it out for free. There are systems that are easy to use and easy to access, and which you can use to cover all your formats, whether it's international and domestic. And hopefully we can encourage the participation and encourage the adoption of such system across our national association and continental federations. And hopefully we can eventually leverage the real-time data and its derived products to drive fan engagement. Like you've seen what Harry has shown you already. If you look at a new website, that's also a great example of what is possible and how this can lead to greater visibility, not just for FIH events, but also other international formats globally. It is now very easy. It is now very easy for our fans globally to have real-time match data on their fingertips, anytime and anywhere. I'm going to take you through some of the benefits of the new player registration and competition management system in the next few slides. Athletes are the core building block of our ecosystem, and it is important that we create a more realistic view on our athletes at national and international levels. Hence, we will provide all of you with a simple and easy to use player registration systems. We should start the practice of registering our athletes involved in our formats upfront. This will allow our athletes and you all to track their career achievements, build up their profile, and capture the key career highlights, make it easily accessible and available globally. And this system will be available to you all from 1st of July 2023 onwards, as per the current development timeline. We would like you to register your interest with us, and we can reach out to you for onboarding. We were looking for a strong partner to come on board who shared this vision with us, and we finally chose Sportradar to work on this project with us. Sportradar is the leading business globally in the sports data services category, and we will now give you a sneak preview of the new data system that they're developing together with us.
Hi, my name is Paul Stewart. I am a product manager at Sportradar, and I will be taking you through in a bit more detail the thinking behind the competition solutions that we are developing in partnership with FIH. Working together with FIH, we are developing several products that focus on collecting, enhancing, and distributing data. During the presentation, I will introduce you to those products, as well as discussing some of the principles underlying them. As you saw briefly in the short video at the start of the presentation, the solutions include products that manage tournaments, teams, the match, for example, live scoring, world rankings, discipline, and distribution and display of data. These sets of products are all underpinned by our API system called DataCore. DataCore was developed to solve a key problem in sports. The problem most sports organizations face is that they need to use multiple technology providers to manage their operations, and therefore need to share data between these providers. This problem is usually solved by manual data entry or multiple integrations or Excel spreadsheets. DataCore is designed to be the single integration point so that sports organizations can choose technology providers that best suit their needs without increasing their workload. Following on from this, FIH and Sportradar share the same philosophy that data can be collected once and then used repeatedly in diverse and secure ways by authorized users to meet the needs of member federations and their fans. Next, we're going to take a closer look at the data collection, data distribution, and competition management tools. We're currently building the competition management product. This product will be made up of several different modules. Currently, we've built the first version of tournament management and world rankings and are about to start building team management. Over the course of the partnership with FIH, and as the need arises, we will continue to add more and more modules to the competition management product. The live data collection tool was first released in July 2022. And with the help of a dozen or so technical officials from around the world, we used it at the Women's World Cup in Spain. From this event, we collected feedback, which has led to more improvements. The final testing phase for the live data collection tool will be at the Men's World Cup in January 2023. The tool is a browser-based application that supports touchscreen usage. It is workflow driven, so users are guided through the data capture process to allow for fast and accurate data entry. Our testing in Spain showed that within a couple of games, technical officials were able to capture more data at higher accuracy, thus creating data that can be used to enhance fan engagement and drive greater insights. There's not much point in collecting all this data though if you can't distribute it and get it to the people that want it. So via DataCore, all the data and images collected in competition management and the live data collection tool can be easily distributed via APIs to website, apps, TV graphics companies, fantasy hockey leagues, coaching tools, and more. For federations that do not have the means to do an API integration for your website, we have an easy to use embeddable website product where in a few minutes you can have the data captured by the competition management and live data tools display on your website without having to send people away from your site to another provider's website. This means more people spending more time on your website, thus gaining greater exposure for your sponsors. The solutions are guided by the principles in this slide. These principles are central to how we design and build our products and are core to the way we do things. From a security and maintenance point of view, by using the latest Amazon Web Services, cloud-based technologies, and best-in-class authorization systems, we optimize monitoring, upgrades, and permission management to keep the system safe and secure. So just to recap, the competition solution tools have been built to meet the needs of FIH and the member federations. They're built on the latest Amazon Web Service products. They're fully scalable across member federations. They're available in multiple languages if required. We'll just need your help to translate. They're built on an API core, which means that it is easy to integrate incoming and current providers. And it's a modularized approach, which means each federation can pick and choose what part of the system they want or don't want to use. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.
This new system is currently under development, and some of the modules have already been tested during the Women's World Cup in July this year. The initial feedback that we received from our team and from our officials has been great, and we hopefully will continue to build on that. Our next key milestone would be to test the minimum viable product at the Men's World Cup in January 2023, and we are looking to go live with a complete system by Q3 in 2023. Having said that, this evolution will not be possible without your collaboration, and hence we invite you all to register your interest at tech@fih.hockey to be part of this next phase of hockey's digital transformation journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Sportradar, for that comprehensive presentation. I mean, you have seen three key elements being presented now in this presentation, which is one is the hockey data dashboard, really interesting. That will also be available for everybody so that you can, as mentioned before, create stories that the players can see how many matches they have played. That will be of great interest to everybody. The module for player registration, which will be available from July 23 onwards, please, I can only recommend, please use that. Start registering your player officially. Let's put all those together in one big system so that we exactly know and that we can talk to our athletes, to our officials, our coaches. So that is a registering system. And the last one just being presented by Sportradar is the new TMS system, which has been developed. And the big and important news there is that this is all for free. So you can use it and you don't have to pay anything in addition. So we have developed this, and this can be used and should be used, if I may say, by you for free without any cost. Please contact us, declare your interest. We will work with you. We will put timetables there because, as you can imagine, if everybody comes at the same time, we will have to put some timetables there. But I mean, as normally in life, first come, first serve. So please come, register with us, talk to us, and we will work with you all, regardless of the number, to deliver the best service to you and to your players and to your leagues and to your clubs, because it's not only for your league, you can also provide this to your clubs and to the youth organizations. So we can really broadly use that. So thank you very much again, Ricky, Harry, and Sportradar. And now I do open the floor if there are questions straight away. Let's give a bit of time for people who are maybe going to type a message. Again, all those presentations will also be available so that you can review it. I understand this is a lot of information within a short period of time. So this will be all available. Nicola, there is, yes.
Person email can be reached out.
You can directly send that to me, no problem. So I'm happy to then give it to exactly the person who should reply to you. Is it Ricky or is it Harry? So you can centralize that with me. Yeah. And at the regular FIH email address. So please feel free, the email address you have. I mean, as you know, we are quite a small team. We're working all together, so and no message will be lost and will be transmitted to the person in charge.
There is a comment to suggest more tutorials on this. More tutorials on this new system.
Yes, I mean, again, as mentioned in the presentation from Sportradar, we can and we will add in the course of the time based on the needs of the different national associations or clubs or leagues. Actually, we have an open contract with Sportradar, and they are willing to add more additions to the system if required. So that's why it is really important that we work together, that you tell us what exactly you're looking for, and then we can make some adaptations. But this is an extreme good point.
There's another question, which is, will the new TMS system require Wi-Fi internet during usage, or will it also work offline and upload data where it's connected?
That I have to say, I'm not a technician, and I give this to Harry.
Yes. Sorry, thank you, Thierry. So the system will be an online system because the data needs to go live to your websites and everything. But we do support an offline mode. So if you do get disconnected or the data signal is weak, then you can still use the system. You can upload your data, and when you are back online, all the data will be then transmitted to the databases, and you will not lose any data if you are offline. I hope this answers your question, but if you need any more details, please use any general email address that you have, or our email address is tech@fih.hockey. So if you have any technical questions, if you have any other queries regarding the tech setup, please feel free to send us all your details and we will be very happy to help you. Question from Ghana.
Comment from Ghana,
Yeah.
as you might see, which says, and Harry, I think it goes in line with what you said, which is, I suggest we are providing the resource required to be able to come on board the new technology system so we can prepare in advance.
Yes, we will do a proper onboarding process with any national association who shows their interest to us. So before we go live, we will have all the study material, all the tutorials and everything that you need to go live with the new system. So we will provide you full support and onboarding process during once you decide to adopt the system. So we will be very happy to do that.
There's another question in Spanish, which is, could you give us more information about the software that we can use in each country for the events?
It's from Paraguay. If the software that our delegate is talking about is the data management or the tournament management software, then of course it is available to everybody. And as Thierry also mentioned, we do also have the player registration system that will be ready next year by October. So we have these two softwares which are available for you to use. So please let us know, and we will then carry on a case-to-case basis, helping you with your needs.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for the questions. Again, I'm sure more people will have more questions. Do not hesitate to contact us. Now we will move to the point number 6, which is actually, as mentioned before, the test of the voting. Okay, so yeah, it's a discriminant. So we're going on to the voting system now, the test, and then therefore I hand over to Lumi and to our independent notary, Luis. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Veal. So I am the Notary Public based in London, England, that will be assisting with the results, the taking of the votes, announcing the results. Today I'm joining remotely, but tomorrow I will be in the Lumi office, which may help to make things go a little more smoothly. But for today, it will be a useful exercise to go through first of all, the roll call, which I will go through with your permission. And then after that, I will just sort of give a brief explanation of the various majorities, the different votes, and then we can proceed with the test votes. So with your permission, Mr. Veal, I will start the roll call. Is that
please? Yeah, please do. Please do.
Thank you. So as of now, we have 79 national associations logged in. I will read through each one alphabetically, and if any additional associations join during the roll call, I will read out their names at the end. So I will just start now with Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Belarus, Belgium, Bermuda, Botswana, Brunei, Cambodia, Cameroon, Canada, Chile, China, Chinese Taipei, Colombia, Cuba, Cyprus, Czech Republic, El Salvador, Fiji, Finland, France, Gambia, Germany, Ghana, Guatemala, Hong Kong, China, Hungary, India, Indonesia, Iran, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Kazakhstan, Korea, Korea DPR, Luxembourg, Macau, Malawi, Malaysia, Mauritius, Mexico, Mongolia, Morocco, Myanmar, Namibia, Nepal, Netherlands, New Zealand, Oman, Pakistan, Panama, Philippines, Poland, Qatar, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Sweden, Tajikistan, Tanzania, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Togo, Trinidad and Tobago, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Uganda, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United States of America, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Zambia. So if we I'm just going to quickly double check whether any may have joined. Yes, so we have a couple more. The Ecuador has also joined the call. So that is the total roll call as of now. We have 80 national associations logged in to the voting platform. And I suppose before we proceed with the test votes, I've just been asked to explain that there are different majorities required for different votes. So for where a vote requires a special majority, this means that more than 3/4 of those online, i.e. those who are logged into the Lumi system at the time of the vote, they would be entitled to vote. And abstentions, spoiled or blank votes are counted in the overall total. Where we have a vote requiring an absolute majority, that means that more than 1/2 of those online That means those logged into the Lumi voting platform at the time of the vote are entitled to vote. If there is an even number of members online, an absolute majority will be 50% plus 1. If there is an odd number, it will be 50% plus 0.5. And abstentions, spoiled or blank votes will be counted in the overall total. Lastly, there is the simple majority. In those cases, more than one half of the votes validly cast will be valid or counted. Any abstentions, spoiled or blank votes will be disregarded. So if we, Lumi, I don't know if you're ready to proceed with the first test vote.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are.
So we have, sorry, bear with me. So the first test vote will be the, is it already on question on screen? Here we go. So the first test vote will be, will the weather be sunny tomorrow? Now this is a yes or no answer. So Lumi, perhaps you can tell me when you're ready to start the voting process.
Yep, thank you, Lewis. We're ready to start the voting on your call.
Okay, so if we could open the vote now, please.
So that vote is now open. A reminder for all delegates, you'll need to be logged into the Lumi platform with your voting credentials. The poll should automatically appear on the left-hand side. For those who are using Zoom on the right-hand side, that left-hand panel is where a poll will automatically appear.
And just for clarity, if I could just remind National Association members that for this vote, you must choose only one option, either yes, no, or abstain. Thank you. We will leave the vote open a little longer just to make sure everybody has plenty of time to vote. Okay, just an announcement that we are at 83 voting members at the moment. And we have now received, I think, the total number of votes. So I think we're ready. We'll give another 10 seconds. And then Lumi, if you could close the voting, please.
That poll is now closed.
So if you just give us a little time to compile the results here, and we'll be back with you very shortly. So the results are now on screen. We had 83 possible votes, 6 abstentions, and 69 valid votes cast. Of those, yes, 53, no were 10. So here we have a clear majority. Thank you very much. I'll now hand back to Lumi.
Thank you, Lewis. We're ready to proceed with the second test vote as you wish.
Thank you very much. So the second test vote, so for this one, please select a maximum of one sport from the list below. So please select maximum of one sport from the below list, exactly. So perhaps this is where you just, if we could perhaps open the vote whenever Lumi are ready.
That vote is now open.
Thank you. So just a reminder for candidates, this vote will require an absolute majority. So for the absolute majority, more than half of those online, i.e. logged into the Lumi voting system at the time of the vote and are entitled to vote. So we will leave the poll open to give everybody plenty of time to vote in this vote. So again, just a reminder to the voters here, please select a maximum of one from the list, or you may abstain. Thank you. We will leave the vote open for at least another couple of minutes just to make sure everybody's got plenty of time to vote. So we'll give another 30 seconds. Thank you. Okay, Lumi, if you could now close the vote, please.
That vote's now closed.
Thank you.
And a small apology from us here. Rather than Aladdin and Cinderella, it should have been hockey and football, but all the responses have been collated.
Thank you. Just let's have a pause here, because what we would like to understand for all the delegates of the Congress is actually we have 83 NAs head of delegates registered. So just to confirm that we are all on the same page. From those 83, 74 have casted votes. We'll do it. You do it? Okay. So please then let me know the others. Can we have potentially the name of those who have not casted votes to find out if they had a problem or if they're just not voting? Just to give the opportunity to everybody in case they have a problem so that we can identify them and see what we can do to have everybody voting. And also, please, if you have some new people connecting in the meanwhile, you mention that before each vote, like we will do tomorrow.
We're just retrieving that information for you.
Sure, no problem. Take your time. No problem. We have time.
So on the latest poll, I can confirm which countries did not participate in voting. They were Chinese Taipei, Timor-Leste, Ecuador, China, Thailand, Luxembourg, Singapore, France, and Tanzania.
Thank you so much for this information. Again, for those countries, if you have any problem of voting, please contact Lumi directly or contact us, as you have all the information on your documentation, just to ensure that you can be voting. If you had no time to vote, this is not a problem, but just in case you had an issue for casting your vote, please contact us directly. Also, to be completely clear on that, whilst we naming the countries today and tomorrow, we have no information about what you will vote. So this is completely confidential. Neither Lumi, neither FIH, nobody has actually the details of your vote. Just to be clear that there is no misunderstanding afterwards when we name today the countries who did not vote. The only thing we can notify is the countries which have not casted votes. Thank you so much, Lumi. Let's maybe move on to the next vote. Mr. Hidde von Mond, please.
Yes, of course. So for the next vote, this will require an absolute majority as well. So for this question, please select a maximum of 2 candidates from for handing over the trophy to the Men's World Cup winner, or you can also choose to only select 1 or to abstain from the voting. So you either choose 2 from the list or 1 from the list only, or you may abstain. If we could open the vote now, please, Lumi.
That poll is now open. And just a reminder for delegates, in this instance, you can choose 0, 1, or 2 responses. You will need to hit the send button, which can be found in the bottom right of the list of choices.
So we will give plenty of time to the national associations to vote here. So we will keep the vote open quite a while. Thank you. Oh, and just to so that everybody is aware, the national associations who have joined during this test session are England, Puerto Rico, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, and Paraguay. Thank you. So if we'll leave the vote open for another minute, just to make sure that those who haven't voted have the opportunity to cast their vote. Thank you.
So in the interests of helping everyone make sure they're comfortable voting here, I can see that of the 85 total delegates, we have received responses from 69 so far, leaving 16 yet to submit their responses. Those 16 who are yet to vote are Germany, Uganda, China, Tanzania, Thailand, Oman, Sierra Leone, Hungary, Guatemala, Myanmar, Chinese Taipei, Singapore, Ecuador, Turkey, Luxembourg, and France. We're now up to 75 responses, Lewis, with 10 remaining. That list is shortening of those who have not participated. Just a reminder that you need to be using the Lumi platform, the web page with your voting credentials to vote. The list of who's not voted has reduced to 8. We are just missing Germany, Uganda, Tanzania, Thailand, Chinese Taipei, Singapore, Luxembourg, and France.
Thank you. So perhaps we just give another 30 seconds or so for those who haven't cast their vote yet to have a chance to do so. Thank you.
Are you happy for us to close the poll, Lewis?
Yes, please do close the poll. Thank you.
That poll is now closed.
Okay, we're just going to collate the results here. We'll be live again shortly. Thank you.
And thank you so much. And again, maybe we can just repeat the exercise you did already, but maybe at the final numbers. So can you just read out loud if my one is correct, the 7 missing at the end, or who did not cast votes?
Okay, yes, I'll ask Lumi to display that after we've gone through the results. So for the results, we had from the test vote 3, and here there were 2 possible choices, 1 choice or an abstention. There were 85 possible votes. Of those, 78 cast valid votes. The results are on screen. Brad Pitt 44, Elia Bat 22, Leonardo DiCaprio 23, Shah Rukh Khan 14, Sandra Bullock 26, and Anne Hathaway 19. This vote required an absolute majority, which would have been 43. So on that basis, Brad Pitt achieved an absolute majority and would go through to the next round. If I can hand back to Lumi, perhaps, to set up the next round if required.
Thank you. So would you like to hold a further test vote, or are you happy to conclude the testing here? We're able to set up another round if you wish. It will take a couple of moments.
No, I'm happy to stop here if that's what you had intended for this practice session, by all means.
They're the 3 that we had loaded, and just to confirm, those who didn't take part in responding to this last poll were Chinese Taipei, Thailand, Uganda, Luxembourg, Singapore, France, and Tanzania. I can say that Uganda did participate in the previous one, just not this last one.
Okay, thank you so much, Lumi, for those important informations. I think what also it is important to mention, because we will have another round of tests tomorrow morning at the start of our Congress Day 2, where we will run another set of tests. So please, every head of delegation, make sure you are connected, make sure you're on a computer or on a laptop with good connectivity, your battery are charged, you have done everything upfront, because what will be tomorrow, we will not be able to have open-end votes, so we will need to restrict this by time. Certainly, we can be a bit flexible, but we cannot do the same exercise as today, as we will at a certain period of time, after 2 minutes, we will have to close every vote, just from a legal point of view. So please make sure you're ready, make sure that it works. Be there straight away at the beginning of the Congress tomorrow for having the tests that your system is up and running when we come to the elements of real voting tomorrow. In the meanwhile, if you have still problems, as always, please contact Lumi or contact us directly. Thank you very much, Lumi. Thank you, Mr. Hidde van Mond, our notary, and looking forward to see you all tomorrow for the different votes. Thank you so much. Thanks for your assistance. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I would now recommend that we have a 5-minute coffee break for us here and for the people in front of their screen. So let's join in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, we will be back. So please, we will say it's in 11:40 Swiss time. We will be back and we will have the other elements of the day for your presentation, the presentation for you. So see you in 10 minutes. Enjoy the coffee. So again, welcome back, everybody. I hope that you had a rest, that you had some coffee or some drinks in the meanwhile, and that you have recharged your batteries to follow the second part of our first day. Just give a couple of seconds for everybody, most probably, to come in and to connect again back or to go in front of their computer. I also would like to take the opportunity to thank actually the people present here with us, with the president and with myself in Lausanne for this Congress for today and tomorrow. The CF presidents, as you have seen them on the screen. So they are together with us in Lausanne today. And I would also like to welcome and to thank our colleagues from the executive board, which are attending online. So now I do believe we can start with the second part, which the second part is stronger for society. And we will start with a video and a presentation from Politan in the subject of turf. So please, can we have the video?
Hi, I'm Paul Campus, Head of Hockey for Sport Group, who own Politan and AstroTurf. I've been responsible for building hockey turfs all around the world, including the Rio and Tokyo Olympic Games, the Lausanne Hockey Fives, and shortly, Paris 2024. We have a global hockey team who are dedicated to hockey around the world, and they love the game. Our hockey experience dates back to Montreal in 1976, which means we were there right from the start. In the last 2 years, we have installed wet, sand-dressed and multi-sport turfs in all corners of the hockey globe. All Also, during this time, our R&D team have continued with dry turf development and green technology innovation for Paris 2024. Let's take a look. Since 1976, we have manufactured and installed hockey turfs at Paris will be our 11th Olympics. I'm delighted to announce that Paris 2024 will be played on hockey's first carbon zero turf. Further enhancing the technology developed for Tokyo, our Paris turf is manufactured from 80% sugarcane using green energy. These, plus other innovations, create a carbon zero turf. In many ways, hockey has gone full circle, from natural grass back to nature again, using turf made from sugarcane. Our Paris turf helps Paris 2024 achieve its carbon neutral goals and ensures hockey is a sustainability leader in the Olympic movement. We have also incorporated the Turf Glide technology into the Paris turf. Reducing the friction will reduce the watering requirements. The first Polygrass GT0 turf has recently been installed at the Hamburg Polo Club in Germany. The turf looks great and the player feedback is very good.
It's great to be here at the Hamburger Polo Club. I see some of the top players from Germany and New Zealand out on the turf today, and their initial feedback's been really positive.
I mean, the turf's nice, even with less water it's quite fast, and yeah, I love it.
We're working on the sport to make it more sustainable across all areas, and clearly the environment is a key part of that strategy. So the next step on this journey of sustainability is to have a carbon zero turf, which we're going to have in Paris 2024 Olympic Games. It's a great step forward since Tokyo to be able to continue to reduce the amount of water that our turfs need, and this is another step in that direction.
It's key for FIH to promote legacy and sustainability, and it's a pleasure to be here on the first Paris 2024 pitch. In the recent years from London 2012 to Rio 2016 and even further to Tokyo 2020, there was a reduction of water of 60%, so manufacturers like Polytan are with us on the right track.
The Olympics is a great opportunity for us to showcase our sport. It also gives us a chance to demonstrate our innovation when it comes to our contribution to a carbon neutral games in Paris in 2024.
I was lucky enough to attend the Lausanne Hockey Fives, and it was one of the most exciting hockey events I've ever been to. We installed the turf on the edge of Lake Geneva using our big stadium hockey portable turf system. This system allows hockey to go anywhere. It allows hockey events to use large football or rugby stadiums, and it also allows hockey to pop up in exciting locations. And the location for the Lausanne Hockey Fives pop-up was breathtaking. The turf used in Lausanne was a prototype dry hockey turf system. Like our Tokyo 2020 turf, the yarn was made with sugarcane for enhanced sustainability. The prototype featured new friction-reducing technology called Turf Glide. This additive is embedded in the yarn. It reduces friction, which means less water is required for lubrication. This event had a mix of conditions: hot and sunny, cloudy and some rain. This was very beneficial as we could assess climatic effects on the turf performance, playability and player welfare. For example, making sure that the turf surface is not too slippery when it rains is really important for player welfare. The ball roll, bounce and other factors such as feel underfoot were good and comparable to top-level irrigated pitches. Some specific skills, such as pushing, penalty corner injections and drag flicking, were difficult when the surface was dry and hot. However, when it rained, these skills began to flow again. Unexpectedly, when the conditions were very hot, there was colour transfer from the turf surface onto the ball. This demonstrates that other hockey equipment has a role to play in dry turf development. Overall, the event was a great spectacle with outstanding hockey skills on display. Therefore, in the context of an exciting event and unique location, the turf performance was reasonable for the Hockey Fives format and shows that this type of turf can work. Importantly, Lausanne showed us that the sport needs to shift its thinking from dry turf to dry hockey. Turf technology will only get us so far. The hockey equipment ecosystem, balls, sticks, shoes and goalkeeper pads must all collectively contribute to dry hockey. We are already in consultation with equipment manufacturers to collaborate and work collectively towards a dry hockey future. Thinking in terms of dry hockey is an important mindset change for everyone. Dry hockey will require all hockey stakeholders, players, coaches, officials, test labs, etc. to adapt. The Hockey Fives World Cup in Oman 2024 will be a dry hockey event. Ongoing R&D, such as further reducing the surface friction and colour transfer onto the ball, will see further improvements by then. Learnings from Oman will help us make further improvements for the 11-a-side game. The goal is that the 2026 Hockey World Cups will be dry hockey events. This means that dry hockey systems will be available ahead of the World Cup for qualifying events and for team training. Ideally, some Pro League games in 2025-26 will be played on dry hockey surfaces. This leads us to the LA 2028 Olympic Games, which will be the first dry hockey Olympic competition. With water reduction and carbon zero innovations, we are committed to helping hockey grow around the world in a sustainable manner. We are not only the FIH Olympic and World Cup turf partner, we are also a partner of the Asian Hockey Federation, as well as many other hockey organisations around the globe. We have been a loyal partner to hockey since 1976, and we look forward to many more happy years supporting this great game that we love. Now, it's time for me to get home and get the kids to hockey practice.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for that presentation. I mean, it's only partners and like yourself, like Politan, who is helping us and our sport to move forward. For those who remember 2018, when FIH committed to work on the dry turf, that was a big call. And I'm extremely delighted that you have seen now the schedule on events which are definitely planned on dry turf, which is the Hockey Fives in 24. And then from then onwards, that the dry turf will be also available for national associations to purchase and to install, with definitely that LA 28 will be played on a water-free pitch, which, as you can imagine, specifically given the current climate change and the shortage of water everywhere around the world, it's of tremendous importance for us to deliver that also for the planet. So thank you, Politan. Thank you for working with us. And also thank you all other suppliers which are also working on the same initiatives, because we need everybody to work together on that. This will be implemented and is permanently tested using the players, because the players are key to this, because those are the athletes and the people who have to use this, and that's why players are permanently included in all those tests which have been mentioned by Paul and will be included moving forward. So thank you so much for this excellent news and this great job done. We have been slowed down a little bit in our plan, because the plan was 24 Paris, but based on COVID and on travel restriction, and people could not travel or could not really be used for tests. That's why we had to, I mean, we will do it a little bit later, but it's definitely now there. Thank you so much again. And now I will open shortly the floor if there are questions on that subject. Okay, if not, we just continue with the same one, Stronger for Society, and you can still ask the question at the end of that part if you have in relation to the turf. But now I hand over to Claire and to John. Please, Claire and John, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm John Wyatt, and I'm the Sport Director here at the FIH. Today, however, we're going to be presenting our sustainability strategy for hockey. So I'm talking to you as a lifelong hockey player who was introduced to the sport as a boy by my father, and I've now introduced it to my own children. I'm passionate about hockey as a sport and for the values it has taught me. And that's why I've been working with our team on our plans to reduce the footprint our sport leaves on the planet, to ensure hockey is open to everyone and that it prospers and lives on for many generations to come. All of these elements make up the sustainability plan that we are launching and presenting to you today. So the purpose of this session is firstly to introduce you to the FIH task force that was set up last year in 2021 to lead this work on sustainability. And I'm delighted that we're joined by Oceania Hockey Federation President Claire Prideaux, who chairs our task force, and by the IOC Head of Sustainability, Julie Duffus, who has been incredibly helpful in guiding us, as she has with many other sports. There is already a huge amount of work in the area of sustainability going on around the hockey world, and we want to celebrate that, as this is not an FIH strategy, but it's one for all of hockey. We'll update you on the work that we've done to date, as well as launching the framework we will encourage everyone in the global hockey family to follow. That includes targets for the future and how we can all track our progress. So now I'd like to pass over to Claire, who will talk to you and introduce you to our task force and why it is that we felt we need a sustainability plan for hockey. Claire.
Thanks, John. And it's been an absolute privilege to chair the first ever FIH Task Force for Sustainability. We have representatives from all continents, as well as expertise in sustainability, sport for development, the Olympic movement, and we've welcomed our athletes' perspective to the task force. I'd like to acknowledge and thank all of our members for their commitment and for making us start as a sport collectively to sustainable practices. Our task force includes people, as I mentioned, from around the globe. So we've got Danae, Julie, Camilla, Gronya, Julie, Kim, and I'd like to make a special mention of John Wyatt. Without John, we really wouldn't have driven this entire strategy. And collectively, we've brought in different expertise and perspectives. So thank you to all of the members and particularly John. The question that we asked ourselves as a task force was, why do we need a sustainability plan or a strategy? And it became apparent that really it was important to build a healthy long-term future for hockey, for our sport. We also realised that it's just the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for hockey, and it's the right thing to do for the planet. It's part of our corporate responsibility, and it's good governance. It's really important that our athletes, our fans, the media, and the IOC, who are increasingly focused on sustainability, actually see hockey supporting that. It's important for our inclusion and our basically our commitment to the Olympic movement as a sport. So thank you, and we're looking forward to hearing more about really the IOC's sustainability strategy and why that's important for us. So hand over to Julie Duffus now from the IOC.
Thank you, Claire, and also thank you, John. It's really been a massive privilege to be part of this task force, and I'm really inspired by everything that you have done, so thank you. So the IOC sustainability strategy has really been embedded throughout the entirety of the IOC. It's embedded through the IOC as an organisation, as the IOC as owner of the Olympic Games, and IOC as leader of the Olympic movement. And we've embedded it throughout all aspects of the day-to-day work that we do at the IOC. It's based around 5 focus areas that you can see here, but it also builds on a lot of other work that we are doing within the IOC. And as it's such a strategic priority, we have committed to supporting the Olympic movement and supporting the international federations, and that is my day-to-day job. So I've worked a lot with many other federations as well, and I've been massively inspired by the work that you are doing and proud of the work that you are doing. And the international federations are really key to also deliver our own sustainability strategy. So it's very important that we come together and work with this together with you, and I will support you every step of the way. Thank you. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Julie. And as we all know, as an Olympic sport and as a sport for whom being part of the Olympic Games is such an important element, it's been fantastic to have the IOC support, leadership, and to have Julie as part of our task force has been incredibly helpful. So a big thanks to you, Julie, as well. I'm now going to take you through some of the early work that we did that has brought us to the strategic framework and the plans that we're going to present today, and will be available for all of you around the world going forwards. Our starting point clearly, as it was for the IOC, were the UN Sustainable Development Goals. You'll all be very familiar with these, I'm sure, and these give us the global framework, the accepted standards, and the way of grouping together projects and activities that is now done across all industries, all sports, and all elements of sustainability. So this was clearly the obvious place to start. Now, hockey is not going to have an impact on all of these, obviously, but there are some that we and that sport as a whole can have a big input into. And so using the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN was the obvious starting point. We then took the leadership, as Julie has mentioned, of the IOC. So if you like, how could we all input into and contribute towards an improved sustainable strategy and plan for hockey, for sport, and for the world? So underneath those 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals and the IOC strategy that again follows those development goals, we have pulled together a framework, which we're calling the framework for hockey, that covers the activity that we at the FIH are in control of, and have a responsibility and an input into and for, but also all of the activity that is done at a continental level by the continental federations, at a national association level that all of you do across the world, but down into the clubs and the leagues, the teams, and to be honest, all the way down into the individual. And the idea here and the role of the FIH really is to set the framework, to set the direction, and then to collect and to celebrate and to track our progress and our success against those goals that we are setting, and how those programs that we are all delivering can deliver against a sustainable future for hockey. So as well as providing that framework, as I said, we want to celebrate those successes. We have found many, many examples. There are, I'm sure, hundreds more that we have not yet heard about. And one of our roles as the Global Federation is to be able to celebrate and really champion those successes and elevate them from a local success to become a global and an international success. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we're going to do that and how we can help to promote those programs and those activities on a more global scale a bit later. But the key point here is that everyone can make a difference at an individual level, at a team level, at a club level, at a league level, at a national level, at a continental level. All of that, when collected together and laddered up, can make a huge difference to our sport and to the contribution that we make to the sustainable future of yes, our sport, but also of our planet and of our communities around the world. So when we talk about a sustainable future for hockey, what do we mean? And perhaps the obvious place to go that is probably jumped on by the media is that sustainability is all about the environment. And of course, that is a huge element of it, but it is not the only element. And so again, following the UN SDGs, following the Olympic and the IOC's lead, we have identified 3 areas, and using the standard terms for these 3 areas of people, planet, and prosperity, we have tried to illustrate how we as a sport can input into each of these areas and what that means for us as a sport. So first of all, what do we mean in the people space? Well, we want to ensure that having a sustainable future for hockey means that we have a positive impact on everyone involved in hockey, whether as a player, whether as an official, as a volunteer, as a fan, in the media, as a supplier, as a partner, everyone who experiences our sport, we want them to have a really positive experience. So we want to give a positive experience and have a positive impact on all those people around the world. Secondly, we want to make sure that hockey activities leave as small a footprint on the planet as possible. Clearly, we're all very, very conscious that the footprint that we all leave as individuals in our everyday lives is important, and we want to minimize that going forwards. But specifically within hockey, how can we minimize the impact that our activities when playing hockey, when traveling to hockey, when organizing hockey tournaments and events within our clubs, within our countries and across the world, has a smaller footprint on the planet as possible, clearly understanding that where there is a footprint, then maybe that can be offset some ways. And finally, it's ensuring that hockey has a prosperous future, and that it can continue for those many generations to come and be handed down from generation to generation. Part of that is by making sure that we maintain our Olympic status, which gives us that amazing shop window every 4 years and the opportunity for our very best athletes around the world to compete in the Olympic Games, but also to ensure that we have ways of generating our own income that we can further invest in growing the game. So we're not completely reliant on the Olympic Games only. So that's how we have defined what we mean our vision of having a sustainable future for hockey. So under that vision, this then is our framework. And as I've already mentioned, we focused on these 3 areas of people, of planet, and of prosperity. We've then looked at the Sustainable Development Goals that particularly we feel hockey and sport can have an impact and an input into. And so in the people area, those 4 goals that we feel could be a real focus for us as a sport, of good health and well-being, of quality education, of providing gender equality, which is something that we're very proud of as a sport, that all of you around the world are very aware of. And there's been some great projects, we've done some great work to ensure real equal opportunity and gender equality in all aspects of our game. And then not just gender, but as Sustainable Development Goal number 10 is there, reduced inequalities. And this is not just gender, this is reduced inequalities on the basis of any kind of discrimination, be that sex, be that religion, be that nationality, be that skin color, etc. So it's about reducing and providing equal opportunities for everybody around the world. So those 4 Sustainable Development Goals we feel are areas that we can really have an impact on as a sport. Then within the planet area, we have the 2 goals, numbers 12 and 13 there. So responsible consumption and production. Clearly we're a sport now that in many parts of the world is played on artificial turf. And whilst that has huge benefits in terms of well-being and opportunity to be able to play our sport, clearly it has some less positive impacts on the environment. And so we're doing a lot of work in that space, which we'll talk about a little bit later, with our suppliers, with our partners, to really reduce the footprint of our sport. And then secondly, on climate action. And this obviously is in travel and all of the areas where we leave a carbon footprint when playing our sport. So those 2 areas we think are a real focus. And then finally in the prosperity area, providing decent work and economic growth. So sport has obviously been proven, sporting events have been proven to bring opportunity, economic as well as health and well-being to different parts of the world when events are taken there. And then with industry, innovation and infrastructure, SDG number 9 there, again, this comes back to how we are working with our suppliers, with our partners of our turf, but also of our sticks and our balls and our protective equipment, to ensure that we have a long and prosperous future for our sport. So as you can see there are 8 Sustainable Development Goals that we're really focusing on. That doesn't mean that the other 9 we're not interested in, but it means that those are maybe not the priority focus areas. There will and there are programs already existing within hockey, and there will be in the future that answer some of those other 9 sustainable development goals, and we will continue to and want to celebrate those as well. But just in terms of our framework, where we're really focusing, where we're looking as a start, these are the 8 UN SDGs that we're focusing on. And then finally, in terms of this framework, and this important point, as I've mentioned earlier, is this is not just about the FIH. It's not about the staff only here at the FIH, what we can do. It's about everyone who's involved in hockey. Yes, it's the staff of the International Federation, of the continental federations, of the national associations, of the leagues and the clubs around the world. But it's also about the players and the role that they can play, as well as our officials and all of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of volunteers that enable our sport to happen every weekend, every night of the week, all around the world, in training, in competitions, in organising. Without those people, our sport wouldn't exist. And all of you and all of they have the opportunity to contribute to this sustainable future for our sport. Of course, then the spectators, the fans, the people who come and watch our top athletes play, they can also have a role to play here. How are they getting to those events? How are they coming to watch our sport? And then finally, but certainly not last, but certainly not least, we have our partners and suppliers, and they have been really important in helping us develop innovative and new solutions to many of the challenges that we face as a sport, and they will continue to do so, particularly within this sustainable area. So it's a framework that we hope captures all of the existing activity, all of the current projects that are going on around the world, but also gives us an opportunity to really focus on the future, what we can do, how we can do it, and where we can really have an impact, as I say, right from the individual level all the way up to the global level. Everyone has a role to play, and we look forward to everyone being involved. So that's some of the theory, I guess. I'm now going to pass across to Claire to go into a little bit more detail on these 3 areas, the 3 Ps: people, planet, and prosperity. Claire.
Thanks, John. We are going to focus a little more on the 3 Ps, as we like to call them now. And really, the purpose here is to unite us, to help us to understand, so that we collectively commit to action that better supports sustainability for people, the planet, and for prosperity. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on those 3 Ps and just go into a little bit more detail. So people really, as John said, was about having a positive impact on all people involved in hockey. Interestingly, we can actually have a positive impact on people even surrounding hockey. You don't have to be involved in it. So through partnerships. So we're going to focus on the hockey community to start with, those involved, but we know that this will have a good effect and a knock-on effect, whether it be another sport, whether it be a partner organisation. But what that really means is looking at providing opportunities for everyone to become involved in hockey as either a player, an official, a fan, a volunteer, an administrator. It doesn't matter what age our people are. It doesn't matter about their gender, their religion, their sexuality, their demography, their ability. And we really want to be able to unite and include everyone in an experience of hockey that's welcoming, where we all belong. We feel that we belong. We want to drive the universal growth of hockey by being inclusive and really expanding that sense of belonging. We'd like to have a positive impact on our communities, on all communities where hockey's played. We'd like to provide best practice education activities and courses for the global hockey community and other spin-off education outcomes. So whether it be in some countries, whether it be having a better understanding of reading, of numbers, of anything that actually helps our brains and our learning experience. We'd like to look at strong governance and structures at all levels of sport. Good governance and structures allow for belonging and inclusion, and that's the opportunity for us all. We'd like to ensure that we give further visibility to gender equality matters. We're really proud as a sport that our men, our women, our boys, our girls, all genders are welcome, and that we have pretty equal participation rates as players. There's work to be done in the area of coaching and officiating and leadership, and we're up for that, and we'd like to invite you to join us to look at further visibility of gender equality with us. Thanks, John. Planet. this is probably one of the easy ones to understand. As John mentioned, we can think about the planet and sustainability and climate action. But any hockey activities, we want to leave as small a footprint on the planet as possible. So in terms of water, we're looking at reducing and conserving the amount of water that we use on water-based pitches and at events and clubhouses around the world. From a carbon footprint perspective, we're looking at reducing travel for events and meetings, offsetting essential travel. So examples of this, where we're using Zoom and we're using Teams to connect with our global community, is a great way to offset essential travel. We're trying to look at everyday habits that reduce our carbon footprint by using alternative forms of transport and or transport where we can get on board with loads of people rather than jumping in a car by ourselves and travelling from one place to the other. From a plastics perspective, we know that artificial turf could be quite damaging, but what we're looking at is ways of looking at eliminating and from turf to sticks to balls, looking at better practice where we're reducing the amount of plastics, increasing the number of recyclable materials. Looking at, wherever possible, end-of-life solutions for artificial turf pitches and hockey equipment, so reusing. And examples of this are happening all over the globe, even with equipment and donating equipment for use. It's a great reuse principle. So there's some really easy examples to jump on board with and play a part with. In terms of prosperity, this is probably the trickier area to understand and one that we have fewer case studies on. So it's important to take the time to share what some of the detail might look like to help our understanding and awareness. So ensuring future prosperity of hockey, we want to look at the growing awareness and attractiveness of hockey to generate more fans, increase media broadcast coverage, and therefore increase the income and investment back into the game. This means that we can keep funding and keep resourcing growth of the game and keep the game alive. Looking at an event portfolio that balances income generation with geographic distribution of events to grow hockey globally. In other words, we want to take hockey to all corners of the globe. We don't want to concentrate where people can see hockey and in certain areas. We can't be what we can't see, so we want to be able to have hockey visible across the globe. We'd like to move the IOC funding groups from Group 4 to Group 3, and this gives us more resource, more credibility and more profile, allowing us again to encourage and influence more people to play hockey and to choose hockey. Looking at managing the costs and continuing to innovate to find new economically viable solutions to deliver events and grow sports. So this might include new revenue streams and certainly sustainable partners, people that are interested in sustainability is one of those avenues. So there's plenty of understanding and awareness and work that we need to do, but it does start with understanding and it does start with awareness. So sharing some of the finer detail of what people, planet and prosperity look like is the start point for us all.
Thanks, Claire. We're conscious we're going into some detail here, but I think it's important to do that, to be really clear on the work that we've done to date and the work that we're looking to do going forwards with all of your support. So I'm not going to go through this in great amounts of detail, but just to say that obviously we have now looked forwards, we have set some targets, we've put in place some plans against the focus areas that we've talked about, against those 3 Ps. And here are some of the examples of some of the targets and some of the key performance indicators that we're going to be tracking on a regular basis, reporting back to the hockey community online, but also through annual or biannual reports that we will produce ahead of each Congress going forwards. And we will be able to track how we're doing on a national basis, on a continental basis, and on a global basis, laddering everything up as I talked about before. All of these targets and all of this detail will be available on our website, which we're launching today, the sustainability section of our website. But just to pull out a few areas and give you a flavor, an example of the sorts of targets that we've been working on and we've agreed are where we want to be focusing going forward. So within the people area, making sure that we target 50-50 gender equality across all roles within our sport. As Claire mentioned, we're doing very well in certain areas, such as in athletes, but there are definitely areas that we need to work on, and there are areas, it varies a little in different parts of the world as well. So we're working with national associations, and we'll work with continental federations really to ensure that we strive towards that equality of gender and opportunity in all aspects of our sport and everywhere in the world. You'll all be familiar with the State of the Game survey that Mike Joyce, my colleague here at the FIH, runs every 2 years, and there are a number of areas within that survey that capture some of the things that we'll now be tracking from a sustainability point of view, and gender equality and opportunity, and numbers of male and of female boys and girls playing our sport and being involved in our sport at different levels are all captured within that existing tool. So this is not going to be a case of needing to invent a new tool. We already have the tool, but we'll be tracking that closely on a biannual basis. And we're very keen, obviously, that all continental federations, all national associations, all leagues, all clubs, all align behind this single strategy, so that we can all be tracking the same things. It can all then be collated up, and we can provide a global overview to both yourselves as our hockey family and all of our players and participants and officials around the world, but also to the likes of the IOC, to the UN, to demonstrate to those our important stakeholders that we are very much doing our bit, and more than that, leading the way in many of these areas. In the planet area, not only is this about what we as hockey can do, but it's how we as hockey and as a hockey community can contribute to what the wider sporting community is doing. And therefore, by joining some broader cross-sport programs, such as the UN Strategic Framework on Human Rights, the UN Clean Seas Program, the UN Sport for Climate Action Framework, and a number of other programs and projects and frameworks that are either IOC or UN-led, we have an opportunity to even have a bigger impact by collecting together with all sports, with all athletes, with all officials, with all volunteers across all sports, to really demonstrate the benefits that sport can have for our planet and for future generations. Specifically around hockey, and we've talked a lot about this over the last few years, and we've made some really good progress around reducing the amount of water that's needed to play hockey. And we, as you know, have a target, and we will be playing elite hockey on pitches that do not require any water at all very soon. We are targeting our World Cups in 2026 as our first global tournaments, but we will start holding tournaments from 2024 onwards without watering our pitches. When it comes to looking after the world's resources and the natural resources, water is clearly becoming an increasingly valuable commodity in all parts of the world, not just in the obvious parts of the world. And so working with our partners and our suppliers on new innovative solutions that do not require pitches to be watered and a lot of water being wasted whenever we play top level hockey has been a real focus and something we've made really, really good progress on. And then finally, in this area, we want to become a carbon neutral sport. At the moment, we've said by 2040, clearly the earlier we can do that, the better. But that's for all of our events, be they FIH events, continental events, national events, leagues, clubs, etc. And that will obviously be a combination of reducing our carbon footprint significantly, but then also offsetting the hopefully small carbon footprint that is inevitable whenever travel is required. And then finally in this area, as Claire mentioned, reusing, recycling all of the products that are used in hockey. We use a lot of plastic, particularly at the higher levels, so we want to try and reduce that, be that with turf, with sticks, with balls, etc. So finding ways of recycling, reusing that plastic is clearly a key priority, and we have some targets against that. And then finally in prosperity, making sure that we continue to have a really prosperous sport. We have great events that people can go and see and can go and enjoy and go and participate in. We take them all around the world, Events are a fantastic opportunity to leave a really positive legacy wherever those events are held. So we want to maximize that opportunity. We want to increase the number of chances that people have to come and watch our sport, be that physically or be that online and digitally. We want to share those events around the world so that there is that positive legacy left in all parts of the world. There's also some fantastic innovation around how we can put pitches into existing stadia, how we can use temporary stadia in different ways, how we can take hockey to people rather than asking people to come to hockey, clearly giving us a better opportunity to grow our sport, both in participation, but also in terms of those who watch our sport. So that's the future, that's where we're going. Now I'm going to pass back to Claire just to talk a little bit about a few of the case studies that we've received when we've asked all of you for some great projects and case studies around the world. We've had some fantastic ones. We're going to be celebrating a number of them. So I'm going to pass over to Claire to do that. And then before we close our session. Thanks so much, Claire.
Thanks, John. We have had a call out for case studies and there's been a fantastic response. There's no better way to share with you all some of the great work that's already been done across the globe through hockey than by sharing some of these case studies. These will be posted on our website and we welcome you to have a look and acquaint yourself with some of the great work that's being done. I particularly loved one and I thought I'd share that with you just to give you an example of what you can expect to see. Thanks, John, if we can scroll down. This is one from Sierra Leone, and the project exposes thousands of young people to hockey while promoting peace across the community. It involves coaches, players and umpires. They're all included in the program. And there's a partnership with the Africa Youth for Peace and Development program. By working together, hockey has been able to access resources and expertise that they wouldn't have otherwise. So the end result of this program is that there's over 3,000 Sierra Leoneans who have been introduced to the game of hockey over 5 years. It's an amazing example of hockey doing good through a new partnership and attracting new people to the game. Things like good health and well-being, peace, partnerships, quality education have all been impacted through our great sport of hockey. So congratulations to Sierra Leone. I welcome you to have a look at the case studies, learn what's already happening out there, celebrate what's already happening out there across our globe, and see what you can do. We're going to hear a little bit more from John about how you can act.
Thanks, Claire. And as Claire mentioned, a fantastic example there that was sent in by the Sierra Leone National Association. So thank you very much to them. So in closing, just our next steps. What are we doing now? So today is about launching the strategy, growing and raising the awareness of that plan and the work that has gone on to date, putting our arms around all of the amazing projects that are ongoing within hockey around the world, and providing a framework and a direction, some future targets for where we need to go and where we will be going in the years to come. We will be launching today the sustainability section on the FIH website. That will include this presentation. It will include more detail on the strategy itself. And then for each of those case studies that were in one of the previous slides that Claire shared, we have 2 or 3 slides which really go into some of the detail and give you a flavour for the work and the projects that are already going on around the world. So as Claire said, very much encourage you to go and have a look at that section, have a look at the case studies, and hopefully that encourages you and gives you some ideas about how you can get involved. We'd love to hear from you. We want to hear about the projects that you're already doing, the ideas you've got for the future. If you want to get involved, please contact us. Please contact your Continental Federation, contact your national association, your club, your league, your friend, whoever it is, who you think you've got an idea that could improve the sustainability of the future of our sport of hockey. We want to publish and celebrate all of your case studies. Send them in and we'll put them up on the website. Don't just wait until Congress in 2 years' time to talk about them. Please send them in now. we'd like to celebrate them now. We'd like to publicize them. It will spark another idea, and it will raise the awareness of what you're doing in your club or in your country to a global level. We will continue to work with our continental federation partners, with our national associations, to really embed sustainability in everything that we all do, and to make sure that we're all following this singular framework now, and we can all report against that same area. We will be publishing, as I mentioned before, a biennial sustainability report for future congresses. So every 2 years, we will be producing that with metrics, tracking and showing where we're doing well, where we need to work a bit harder, what are the focus areas, and how we need to tweak things, but all within that framework. But as I said, we want to keep on publishing your stories. We want to keep on celebrating them. We want to keep on demonstrating the excellent progress that I'm sure we'll be making against these targets as we go forwards. So in closing, from me, thank you very much to Claire, who's done a brilliant job of chairing our task force, to Julie, who's giving us that leadership from the IOC. Please get involved. Please contact us. Please contact your local hockey organizations, because remember, together, if we all play our part, we can make a huge difference, and we can develop a really fantastic, sustainable future for our sport. Thanks very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Claire, for that really excellent report and initiative. So now I would like to open the floor for questions. I'm sure Claire and John will be more than happy to answer actually the questions, or even myself. So please, Nicola, do we have questions? Yes.
Yeah, there are already a few questions essentially around the turf, really. The first one from Ahmed Asmi, who is CEO of the African Hockey Federation. The question is, any idea on the price range of dry turf versus water-based turf?
That I have to admit we have not discussed yet, but we always believe that when we introduce the dry turf, the price in total will be cheaper than what we have today, because the turf should not be more expensive because it's constructed the same way, but then you will heavily save finances in relation to watering it, the pitch, and then the maintenance and so on and so forth. But there is not clear yet a price indication, but sure, this is like, it has to be at least the same price as the turf today, but the goal is always to make it more efficient and better, more sustainable, and also more affordable.
So there's a similar question actually from Angus Kirtland from EHF, the CEO. I guess you just answer the question, because this is also on cost comparisons. There are a couple of questions from South Africa. The first one being with regard to the surface changes, when will the new carpet be available? That's the first one.
So as discussed and as agreed with our partner Polytan for that new surface, it is that we will use it for the Hockey 5s in January 24. Olympics will still be played in Paris as demonstrated on their new surface, which is using less water, which is really eco-friendly, and which has made a major step forward for the sustainability. And then after the Olympics, they will have then the fields and the product ready for people to be able to purchase, so that everybody can start purchasing. But we will give you more further out there. We will give you a timeline, because I know it is important for every single national association in hockey, because some of you and clubs will start to plan change of surface. And there we need to be clear to you that, you know, maybe sometimes it's better to wait for 3-4 months and to then install the new surface. But we will come with a clear plan and with a clear schedule for when can you start purchasing that surface.
And for your information, after day one of the conference today, there will be leaders introducing you to the sustainability strategy of FIH, which Claire and John have just introduced. And there will be a link to a story which has been published today by Polytan, precisely on the Paris 2024 hockey zero turf. There's another question from South Africa, which is how will we phase the one in and the new in without negatively impacting on anyone during this evolution phase?
That I think it is related again to the tri-turf. I mean, what we will do and what we need and have to do is definitely we will for a period of time accept that the games on the highest level are also played on either a water surface or on a tri surface, because we completely realistic that the change cannot happen overnight and that for different surfaces will be accepted.
And then there are a couple of comments from Sierra Leone, which I'm trying to summarize. The introduction is to say that for us, having a balanced and sustainable hockey, I have some recommendation. And first, create a fund for developing hockey nations, just like FIFA does. And we also need to create a platform wherein developing and developing nations can pay separate fees, and let's say a couple of additional comments which go in that direction clearly.
I completely thank you for that suggestion. I think that is really what we need to look moving forward. I mean, as you know, we're doing quite initiatives in development, and we will see later on in the next topic when we're talking about stronger participation, which will be presented by Mike, about what we do in development, how we do it. But I have just to reiterate, whenever we're talking about FIH or hockey needs to have a financial sustainable position, that this is purely there for putting more in development and actually supporting all the different national associations around the globe. If that's it, I just want to add to that topic 2 seconds. It is a privilege for sure for hockey to be part of the Olympic family. As you know, we get tremendous support from IOC in everything what we are doing. And that for us to deliver our sustainable plan, as Claire and John said, we need everybody to help us to work on that, because once we deliver that, we will also dramatically help IOC to fulfill their sustainable plan. So I already in advance thank you for that. Now, again, we move on to a stronger participation, and I give the floor to Mike. Mike, please.
In 2018, we introduced Hockey 2024, a global development strategy for hockey. We set some ambitious targets across 4 critical areas: participation, education, infrastructure, and inspiration. We and the 5 continental federations ask for your help in achieving these targets.
4 years on, and despite the significant challenges we have all faced, the global hockey family has achieved a huge amount.
Since 2018, the FIH has invested in excess of $4 million into development and education projects, both directly and via Continental Federation Solidarity funding.
Whilst today we are highlighting a direct action by the FIH, the incredible efforts and the achievements of our continental federations and national associations over the last 4 years deserves high commendation.
At the last Congress, we reported surpassing our target of 110,000 sticks through the Sticks for the World project. Well over 250,000 sticks have now been distributed via FIH, CF, NA and private projects.
Our hockey match funding program for NAs was launched this year, with the first 5 projects to be announced shortly after Congress. Projects receive support in the form of experts, equipment, and education, specifically targeting initiation of new hockey activity for young children.
The Para Hockey ID development programme is welcoming more and more new nations in each continent in the build-up to the Special Olympics Berlin 2023.
Yeah, these are exciting times for Hockey ID because we continue to grow. We have 15 nations preparing to join the Special Olympics World Games in June in Berlin 2023. And we're very busy preparing for that event with the Special Olympics International team, the local organising committee, and indeed each nation taking part. We're pleased to train up leaders from Malawi, Zambia and Uganda during the recent Amsterdam Continental Championships. And we really hope that many nations will join the Hockey ID family in 2023 and get inspiration from this part of our society. This section of society often feels excluded, and hockey federations can play an important role welcoming them to our family. Take up the challenge and do it. You'll bring a lot of joy to many players and many families.
Hello, my name's Ben. I love hockey, it's fun. I've made lots of new friends. I've learned to work as part of a team. Got to play important games for my country. And I won the medal, yay!
FIH World Hockey Camps welcome an excess of 2,000 plus young people from over 20 nations in 6 countries. $532 courses and workshops were delivered by the FIH Academy, including a return to face-to-face programs. Over 8,128 individuals have accessed FIH education since the launch of Hockey 2024.
The new FIH Academy platform will be launched in December with brand new e-learning program across all hockey functional areas. This platform will have the capacity for CFs and NAs to share and promote their own programs under a white label function.
Participation impact from education estimated in 1.9 million individuals since January 2021.
The FIH Academy Athlete to Coach program and Young Athlete program supporting current and next generation of elite athletes.
The new FIH Academy 2.0 platform will include an extensive range of tools and education for athletes in partnership with the IOC Athlete 365 program.
Yeah, for me, the FIH has been incredible. Right from the beginning of my coaching journey, making sure that I was being directed towards opportunities and resources that were going to help me with my coaching career, and whether that be in actual coaching or also in coach education. And it's basically given me the opportunity to really become a student of the game and a student of the career of coaching, and the network that has then put me in front of and put me in has been incredible and invaluable.
So engaging with the FIH Academy has been brilliant across all our layers. So it's given us the opportunity for our educators, our trainers and our coaches to be able to connect and collaborate internationally now. So the sharing of different ideas and experiences has been fantastic. It's also just allowed us to be able to access more resources and opportunities as well. And we're excited to be able to look at how we continue to grow that and integrate it into our local system here.
The NA Development Series has delivered 22 editions across a wide range of subjects, including club development, facility management, sustainability, player development, and gender equality, with an average of 60 national associations attending each session.
We've been developing and designing hockey pitches since 1984, so we bring a lot of experience and understanding of hockey development, facility development and funding development. The benefit of the workshops we've run with yourselves is that it gives us an opportunity and a platform to engage with customers and national associations that we wouldn't otherwise have connections with, and hopefully we can share best practice of what we're doing here in the UK with our customers, and that will have some benefit to the customers and associations wider around the world.
Yeah, it was great. So the workshop I joined was the club development workshop, and just a variety of people on that. So for example, we had Ahmed from Hong Kong, who's trying to establish or improve his current hockey club with kind of limited resources, and had some great ideas. And then you had Ruth, who's just starting out in her journey of creating a whole new hockey club. So she was learning from Ahmed, and there was good conversations going on. And then Gabrielle from the Netherlands, who has a lot of resources and a lot of experience, and was kind of trying to show her side of it in terms of how you manage that. So there was something for everyone, I felt. My role there was looking at how digital and online can support clubs that are just starting out, or help organisations like that are in the Netherlands, how they can scale with the numbers that they have. So I felt like it was a really well balanced conversation.
State of the Game survey 2022 opened to analyse the growth of hockey and the impact of global pandemic on the game. Analysis and comparison with 2018 and 2021 to be shared shortly after Congress. We currently have reports from 71 national associations.
It all begins with understanding the demographics of your participation, who's playing, where they're starting, whether they're coming in and out of different age groups, and therefore you can focus the strategic direction and development accordingly to what that information provides us.
Comparing with a larger country, how we are growing, and whether that growth is comparative to what they're doing in relation to the competitions that they have and the distractions that they have for young athletes. Yeah, that would be very important and very useful for us.
Hockey Fives is a key strategic vehicle to enable hockey competition to be played in more places and without the need for expensive infrastructure. It's been a major focus and has had a significant impact across the globe, most notably in Oceania, Africa and South America. More on Hockey Fives will follow this section.
With Hockey Dreams Foundation, we use hockey as a tool. Coaches learn on and around the pitch by organizing camps and tournaments, and we also provide them with scholarships. This way they make a positive impact in their community while developing themselves and learning how they can be a game changer. We have many ambitions for our current communities to run and be empowered, and maybe in the near future get new communities. So please get in touch if you want to be linked to any international hockey development projects. If you do any fundraising event, the contest now reached 2,000 kids, so let's get that number up to 5 or 10,000.
The 2021 Year of the Youth was a great catalyst for development, with over 50 new projects from 27 plus nations participating. A highlight of the year was the Year of the Youth Huddle in September 2021, where we were joined by a host of outstanding guests, together with 82 National Association representatives.
Hockey 2024 had clear sustainable development project objectives when launched. These will carry through to specific elements of the new FIH sustainability strategy. As an international federation, we have continued engagement with IOC Olympic Solidarity and Women in Sport Commissions, GAIF's membership, and ASFAF ASDEG through representation and participation. Once again, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank all FIH, CF and NA colleagues, volunteers, the FIH Academy workforce, and our partners Not Sport and Coach Logic for their commitment to the hockey family and to the growth of the sport we love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Andre, for that presentation. Again, participation is the foundation of our sport. More we can increase participation, more important our sport will be. So thank you for working on all of that. And now I open the floor for questions. So if we have questions, I'm sure Andre and Mike or myself, more than happy to answer your questions.
Yes, so there is a question now from Togo, and the question is French speaking, it's maybe a more common question actually. French speaking Africa, and especially the left developed countries, have a serious third problem for the development of hockey. This component of providing the regions for proximity to zonal competition is very important. It's on the lack of facilities really.
The lack of
facilities.
Yes, again, as I mentioned before, that the facilities, and we're hoping, and we have seen that yesterday we have announced after the executive board meeting that our financial situation is getting better, is sound, and that for the vision, and I'm sure the executive board will decide sooner than later to attribute more actually finances for development, which then will go into the different national association to support everybody to grow our sport and then to deliver facilities, to deliver products for the kids. Because when you see those pictures which have been demonstrated by Mike, Andre and everybody else, it's amazing to see the joy which kids have when they have a stick in hand and a ball, or also when we're talking about the different kind of hockey we have seen just now. So yes, we will do, and we will come back to you, and we will work on a plan and on a development plan moving forward, which is even more than what we do today. So if that is the question, again, if you have further questions, do not hesitate to send us those and to contact us directly. But now, thank you again, Andre. Thank you, Mike, for this presentation and for the job you do permanently. And now we're moving to the point, stronger governance. And please, can we start to play the video from Wayne?
Hello, FIH Congress. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Wayne Snell, and I am the chair of the FIH Integrity Unit. For those of you who haven't had much contact with the unit, we've now been established for more than 5 years, and during which time we've become quite well established. We've updated all of our processes and procedures, and we're keeping on top of the way in which we share information backwards and forwards with our member associations, with continental associations, and also with the other sporting and integrity bodies and law enforcement bodies out there that work in this space. Earlier this year, we undertook a full review of the FIH Integrity Code, and you'll be encouraged to hear that a number of elements of it were changed to make it more user-friendly, make it more accessible, and also clarify some of the procedural matters that were just slowing things down. I encourage you all to go to the FIH website and have a look at the updated code. And if you have any questions, please contact the unit either directly or through the FIH legal office, and we are more than happy to provide you with some clarity. As the first term of the unit has expired, the first 4-year term, we have unfortunately had 3 of our members retire from the unit, but we are encouraged to have had 2 members recruited into the unit, and this puts us in good stead for the future. Over the past 12 months, we've only had a small number of matters. This, of course, is positive for our sport and is potentially a reflection of the reduced levels of activity in that 12 months, and also some of the reduced levels of risk and exposure to things like international betting markets and some of the other activities which expose us. What we have done within the last 12 months is provided significant support to the IOC in Tokyo, and we were on call during the full length of the games, including the lead up. Part of that process was participating in risk assessments, participating in information sharing, and participating in having ambassadors giving messages, positive messages about integrity and the protection of clean athletes from manipulation. We have done this in the past and will continue to do this. We will also continue to support some of the other organisations running major FIH events, as well as individual associations and confederations. What we have seen is an increase in the risk of sport in the integrity world, and that risk has not necessarily been in the number of matters or the numbers of attempts by people to influence or the number of activities outside of the sporting part of our organisation. But what we have seen is an increase in the consequence of those activities right across sport. Research recently published has identified a significant erosion of public trust of public institutions in general, but for one of the first times, an erosion of trust in the international sporting federations and their ability to participate in what might be described as a clean and fair manner. This has led to a reticence in some sectors of the commercial environment, which of course has downstream effects for all of us in income generation and ultimately to participation levels. This is something we need to be alive to. We have been talking about these particular issues in sport now for an extended period. And we've also been talking about it in the crime world and in the supporting organisations around sport for more than 20 years. Unfortunately, some of those risks are still unable to be managed effectively. And as a result, we maintain our vigilance as a way of being able to support the clean athletes and be able to support the integrity of our organisation. In the last 12 months, the unit has also undertaken some very honest soul searching, and we've been able to integrate some of those agreed principles around our code and improve the governance processes, particularly around elections and around event allocations, as well as around athletes and officials. Yet the scandals in other sports continue to come up. Hockey has been able to provide some guidance to the other sports about how that might be done, particularly from the expertise within the FIH integrity unit. And we've also been able to identify and highlight to some of the sports who have only recently become vulnerable to infiltration by organised crime, that they do not care that organised crime people do not care about what the sport is or who they target, as long as that they are able to wield their influence and able to make a profit, both internally and externally, to the sport. So basically using the sport as a vehicle for various things. This has been well received from the other sports, and the level of expertise that hockey holds is actually quite high. Some of the leading exponents in this field. We are quite blessed to have such expertise. We all have a responsibility to identify the risks in human rights, in governance, in behaviour, and also in response to these threats. And we can do this if we work together and we use the expertise, knowledge, and skills that is available to all of us. We are particularly interested to hear from people who see and notice and hear things which are unusual, things which do not fit well, things which raise alarm, and things which start to draw a picture that something underhanded or something that might affect the integrity of our organisation or our events might be afoot. The FIU is also working on an engagement plan for the near future and the mid-future, and some of the activities in that plan will include supporting and participating more in the education activities that we have supported in the past, and the inclusion also of education activities for officials, as well as athletes and administrators beyond the field. We are also working on developing a roster of attendance at major events. So unfortunately this year our roster was significantly affected by the travel restrictions around the globe. So we were having to monitor and participate in our major events remotely. Whilst this was able to be managed on this occasion, it certainly is not best practice, and we will endeavour to do better going forward. We've also made, we are also planning on making significant contributions to other organisations such as the IOC, the UNODC, the Commonwealth Games Organisation, and sport integrity national platforms around the world to make sure that they are aware that the capability that sits within the FIH integrity unit is available to protect our sport in their activities and to be able to support the events in general. Internationally, we are seeing great progress in the use of the Massillon Convention. For those of you who know about that one, it's a European convention regarding the protection of the manipulation of sport activities and its related artefacts. And it's very pleasing to see the progress of that particular convention, given that a number of members of the FIH integrity unit were part of the drafting authors, including myself. At this time, we're also developing a project around the protection of officials from violence and abuse, which we plan on constructing with the national authorities and supporting the national authorities to take that forward, as we've seen a rapid increase in the number of on-field risks, which is actually developing into a crisis in our sport. This is not specific for hockey, but hockey has seen an increase in these matters. So going forward, let me also thank the legal section of the FIH for their patience and their unswerving support to the unit, which of course, like most of the FIH, is staffed by volunteers who are quite busy, quite professional, and undertaking a number of activities around the globe. Let me also thank you for all of the support that the Congress has provided up to this point, and the network of all of the organisations that has supported us to date, whether that be with information, with people, or with supporting changes to the code. Together, going forward, we can make a difference and we can make our sport. I would suggest to you that only together can we support our clean athletes from match manipulation, that only together can we hold and set the future to the highest levels of governance and integrity as expected by our respective communities. and beyond the sporting community. And together we can make hockey absolutely stronger. Thank you all for your time, and please do not hesitate to reach out to the FIU for advice or for any assistance. We are always here to help, and we are willing to help, and we quite enjoy helping. So thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you to the unit as well for the work you do. As you say, this is all on a voluntary base. It is a lot of work. It is really important for hockey, for us to make sure that we stay clean, that we have continuously our value, that we are completely respected, and that is big thanks to you and the unit for all the work you are doing. On the governance part, I would also like to add just one element. As you know, we are monitored by IOC through ASWAF, where we have a survey every second year, where we need to fill out a survey, and we need to make sure or give the indications what we are doing and how do we improve when it comes to governance and to transparency. So we have filled this out. I'm sure you have seen in the press. So the good news there is that we are in Group B, but more important than the Group B is to say that we are number 18 out of 33. We have made huge progress in there, and therefore as well, this is partially to Wayne's unit, but also to the hard work of everybody, and to clearly have transparency to put all the elements on our website. That is always rated by ASWAS and by IOC in that context. So we have made a huge improvement, which is important also to tell everybody. Now I would like to have a quick video before we close of Hockey Fives. So maybe we can run this little video on Hockey Fives.
So we are up and running. Welcome to the Hockey Fives, everyone. An event here in Lausanne which should really entertain, be full of goals, pulsating action.
Thank you for this nice video. And again, that was under the participation, stronger participation part, which clearly it is the type of format which will help us to increase participation, to bring the game to people, and also for those who want to introduce it at school, that is much easier in this format to do. So I strongly believe that this will help us dramatically here as well. If you have any plans, if you have any questions in Hockey 5, how we can help you, please do not hesitate to come and to contact us moving forward. That brings us to the end of today. Fruitful day, I hope, for you. Hope we will all come stronger together. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your suggestion. Do not hesitate to send more questions and more ideas back to us, and we will come back to you and answer that and work together with you. And to close this, dear Acting President, please, the word is yours.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and we will wait to meet again tomorrow for the main session of our Congress. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
So see you all tomorrow, sharp 10 a.m. Swiss time, with your computer charged, your computer connected, your connectivity done for the head of delegations into the system of Flumi. So looking forward, have a nice end of the day or rest of the day. Looking forward to see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
And have a nice day.